Imagine for a moment a small butterfly flapping its wings in the quiet stillness of a distant forest. The air stirs gently around its fragile wings, unnoticed by most. Yet the ripples it creates in the atmosphere have the potential to travel vast distances. Now, what if I told you that this seemingly insignificant movement could, in theory, set off a chain of events so profound that it might alter the course of history itself? Welcome to the world of the butterfly effect. We often think of our lives as linear, a series of predictable events that follow one another in a neat, orderly fashion. But in truth, the universe we inhabit is anything but predictable. It is a place of complexity, where small, seemingly inconsequential actions can trigger monumental consequences. This concept, known as the butterfly effect, is one of the most fascinating ideas to emerge from the field of chaos theory. It suggests that even the tiniest change in a system can lead to a vastly different outcome, sometimes in ways that are so profound and unexpected that they feel almost like a paradox. Now, let's slow down and let that sink in. A butterfly's wings. A tiny movement, unseen by the human eye. Yet, according to chaos theory, it could be the very thing that causes a storm on the other side of the world. The ripple of a single action, so small, may be the seed of something far greater. In the 1960s, an American meteorologist named Edward Lorenz was working on a computer model to predict weather patterns. One day, while rerunning a set of data, Lorenz made a tiny adjustment. He entered the number 0.506 instead of 0.506127. A tiny, almost imperceptible change. But when he ran the model again, it produced a completely different weather forecast, one that bore no resemblance to the previous one. Lorenz was astonished. How could such a small alteration lead to such a dramatic shift in outcomes? His work on this phenomenon would later come to be known as chaos theory, and the butterfly, flapping its wings in some distant, unnoticed place, became a symbol for this profound and strange idea. But what does this mean for us? How does the butterfly effect apply to our lives, to the choices we make every day? Let us explore for a moment the everyday choices that might seem trivial, but could be far more significant than we realize. Think about a time you made a decision on a whim. Maybe you chose to speak to someone you had never met, or perhaps you took a different route home. At the time, it felt like a simple decision, one of many you make throughout your day. But what if that seemingly small choice changed the course of your life, or even someone else's? What if that conversation led to a new friendship, a new opportunity, or a shift in perspective that set you on a path you would never have imagined? What if that different route home avoided an accident, or brought you face to face with someone who changed your life forever? The possibilities, though invisible in the moment, are vast. The butterfly effect reveals a deeper truth about the nature of our reality, that everything is interconnected. Every choice we make, every action, no matter how small, creates ripples that extend far beyond our own lives. And just like the butterfly's wings, we may never know the true impact of our actions. But there's a paradox here, isn't there? On one hand, we are comforted by the idea that our actions matter, that even the smallest gesture can lead to a larger change. Yet, on the other hand, this concept also brings with it an unsettling thought, that we are constantly shaping the world in ways we may never fully understand. The weight of this knowledge can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. Take, for example, a simple act of kindness. Perhaps you held the door open for a stranger or shared a smile with someone who seemed down. It might seem insignificant, but how far could that ripple extend? Could that person, in turn, perform an act of kindness themselves? Perhaps they'll help someone in need, who then goes on to make a life-changing decision. What you did in the span of mere seconds might have set off a sequence of events that led to something extraordinary. But it's not always kindness that ripples out into the world. Think for a moment about the small choices we make that we don't think twice about. A harsh word spoken in a moment of frustration, or an impulsive decision made without considering the consequences. These too create ripples. And sometimes, these ripples, though unseen, may lead to outcomes that we deeply regret. In a way, we are like the butterfly, unknowingly flapping our wings in the complex system of life, sending ripples into the world that will reverberate far beyond what we can imagine.